Um, People are going to start jumping in the session, so we'll just go ahead and get started. We're at the top of the hour. This is Tour Talk. This is episode 3. So, welcome everybody. As you guys are just now coming in, go ahead and start to share my screen. What you should see is a blank screen right now. But we're going to go ahead and this is the splash page introducing you guys all to this episode. I'm gonna kind of breeze through some of this stuff. Most of you have watched the first 2 episodes. What I would like to do is get to the end here and get to some open dialogue where we can still keep this under 45 minutes. So we'll just jump right into it. You guys do got something to say? Just go ahead and just jump in. This is to be open. I don't want this to be more directed. So if you got something that's going to jump in, I'll pause and we can steer our session in the direction of your question. So right from the jump, this intro here, it will remind you that everyone's going to be muted upon entry. So the session is recorded. So be available, or sorry, be mindful of that when you do discuss. And then again, we're trying to keep this session under 45 minutes. If it does lapse over that time frame, just log back in. All right, so pressing on. This is kind of the first topic or first agenda here where the topics we'll go over. Obviously, we're going to recap some of the highlights from last time we met here. These episodes are available on YouTube. Last question from the previous week was someone was asking, how could I find the previous episodes? It's just a matter of you subscribing to my channel, or if you go out there and keyword search some of that language that you see right there, you'll be able to find those episodes to watch. The tour database, have a great update to that. I'm excited to share. And then as you can see there, self-explanatory going down. Again, some of the same agenda topics from last week to this week, but it's updated for each. So the recap. Again, episode 2 was good. We had another strong audience where we went over some questions that members had, some yardages that we're going to play this season, which is similar to what you're accustomed to playing on tour. Those videos that are out there, I get a lot of questions more recently here since we kicked off a promotion. These YouTube videos, I'll continue to communicate them. They're great. This one will be the same, where it's an A to Z. It basically speaks directly to many of the questions that a player would have, you would have. And if you do have the time to watch those, I do ask that you do. And if you go out to any one of them, we'll click on episode 2 here, see how it launches. Even if you're kind of selective in watching these episodes, just one thing I want to point out, each one of them, I built them out so that way, I don't want to watch the whole episode, but if I'm interested in finding something, here's where the chapters are in each of those videos. So that's kind of neat that, if you're kind of like, hey, I do want to watch them, but sometimes I want to skip through, but what if I miss something? Well, they're chapter based. So if you just click on one of them, it'll take you right to that topic. And that's pretty neat. All right. So Facebook, I relaunched the page. If you're watching, like last week, this little guy right here, it's a like counter. So let's say you're watching this episode right now and you're in this session and you're currently like the page. This is pretty cool. If you unlike the page, it'll go down to 529. And then if you like it again, it'll go back to 530. It's so cool. So if you really want to play with that, go ahead and do it. And we'll just hear it flip as we go through this session. But anyway, you want to like the page. So if anyone's out there following and you haven't liked our Facebook page, go on out there, like it so you can constantly receive updates and announcements that I communicate out to the public. We'll go into the database. So right here, this is the tour database. I refer to it as that. It's basically what Golf Genius was to us on the Golf Channel Amateur Tour. And a recent update here where I put it in a file sharing server. So it's linked. Many of you received this email, I think it was yesterday morning, where the subject line said there's a link that's now shareable. So if you go out, click that link, it will take you to um, the tour database. Right now, every time I do have an update to it, um, it's linked to me to you. Um, if the link ever gets broken, I'll communicate what the new address is. But for right now, this operates as our website until the design of it is launched, hopefully next month. So right now, um, this is kind of the popular question. What's the schedule like? How many people are in it? Well, right here, if you can kind of see, let me blow this up a little bit. We have 64 players entered for our first event coming up, 60 carts. So we'll kind of go into that. Right now, we are at max cart usage. We have 64 players. We got 60 riders and 4 walkers. So anybody right now that kind of wants to enter this event may do so. They'll either be added to the waiting list for a riding cart or they can walk. Um, so very carefully, I know I got some new people in the audience here. This is the event page. Okay. You want to know what tees you're playing from, what flight, how many players. If you haven't registered for the event already, it shows you how to register, where to pay, how to pay. Here's the player roster currently. It shows everyone in alphabetical order by last name. It tells you what your flight you're in. It also tells you what your handicap index is. It tells you if you've already entered flight or super skins. And it kind of just goes down here and lists out the 64 players we currently have registered. Again, as I update this, if you go into that link that was communicated to you by email, you'll see the same thing. So that's the beautiful part about it. And over here to the right, previewed last week and now discussing it again here, this kind of shows you what you're playing for. This is the current projected prize fund. You'll see a better little illustration of this later in this show. But right now, this is what you're playing for. It also includes if you elect to take your prize fund without trophy, that's the amount you can take away for winning your flight on May 18th. And this is the prize that you can win if it includes your trophy, how much you can walk away with winning your flight on May 18th. So again, this is kind of neat here. The result page, as the players are entered, the names will also appear on the result page. So this is kind of where when we have the award and trophy ceremony, the day following the tournament, we're going to be viewing this page. This is where all your scores will be. This is where the flight skins will be. This is where the super skins will be. This will be where the payout will yield. This will be where your points will be awarded for Capital City. This entire page right here will be a snapshot of the tournament and its results from it. Right now, there are no scores entered, but if I did an example and I start entering some scores, I can't do it because it's locked. But if I enter some scores here, that handicap index differential will change. So we're going to actually, this is set up with a formula that I built in it, where once I enter your score, it's going to generate a handicap index differential, which will allow me to manage your handicaps. So it's all going to be right here, and this is pretty neat. The more you browse around into this database, the more you're going to be a fan of it. I do anticipate making some more updates to it, whereas it will include the schedule for the Cincinnati tour. What was the Cincinnati Golf Channel Amateur Tour is now the Queen City Amateur Tour. They have a schedule, and I need you to communicate that to you guys. I just got that schedule today. So hopefully by tomorrow, you'll see that posted on here. And again, when you click that link, it'll automatically update to your side of it. All right. You guys got any questions to this so far? Anything you want to see? Anything you got questions about for what it shows you? All right. It's a well covered topic. So we'll jump back out to the agenda here. So that's the database. That's where everything gets communicated. So on to the next tee, we have our event again at Muirfield Village Country Club. I got to reiterate this. This is not the course where the PGA hosts the Memorial Tournament. So if you're watching, your excitement is about playing this event. I want that excitement to still be there, but I don't want to dash it to tell you that this is the news for you. So be mindful of that. Still a wonderful course, still an excellent property where it was designed by Jack Nicklaus, and we still have an opportunity to play it. So again, registration is still open. We have 64 signups, 60 carts. And again, that breakout is 60 riders and 4 walkers. Had a question come up from one of the members, and even someone who was interested in playing. No spectators or caddies are permitted at this time. No guests. This is a very strict arrangement. Obviously, this is all set up with guidelines and regulations issued by the health department. So there are members of this club who live in homes that back up to the property. They are very mindful of what the rules are, and they, I'm sure, if you were there, you would police what you see on the golf course. So that way, one, the course does not get fined, and two, they don't get shut down for things that we're doing. So if it's 3 players in a group, 1 player in a cart, that's what we got to do. So that's why there's no spectators. That's why your significant other, spouse, or no caddy will be permitted in these events. That could change, right, as we get through the season if these restrictions and orders are lifted and you get that kind of flexibility. But for right now, that will be the rule for this event. Shaker Run. Again, Cincy Tour communicated to me today that they have a schedule. The status of their signups, they have over 50 players for the Shaker Run event that's now being hosted on Sunday, May 24th. That again is leg 1 of our Ohio Ryder Cup series. Again, I'll toss that on the dashboard. I'm hopeful to get a player roster as to who's been registered, what flights those members are in, so you can kind of see the makeup of the tournament as people are getting signed in. But everything here is first come, first serve. So if you want these events, go ahead and sign up as early as you can. And again, the dashboard shows you who to pay, how to pay, and how much to pay. A little flash of the schedule here. Very popular question, what the schedule is. Somebody always asks me, or not always, a couple questions I get from people who are interested. They ask me what the schedule is and how much are the events. So right here, this really shows you how much the events are in that schedule. So I create that, and it's designed to present to you guys and those who are watching this episode a snapshot to answer those questions. Again, flights, I'm announcing here, this is gross stroke play tournaments, flighted based upon handicap. Here are the flight breakouts. It's every 4 strokes. We got a question down here at the end where a member asked, hey, I'm currently in, let's say, the question I had was, I'm a player who's in the Hogan flight. We'll jump to that here. Questions from you. So the gentleman asked, I'm a 12.1 handicap. I'm in the Hogan flight, right? And I was wondering if I can move to Saracen. How would that affect my season-long point standing if I get moved back up to Hogan sometime during the year? Okay, here's the question. Here's the answer. If you move to Saracen, which you can, play in Saracen, and if you're promoted due to your play, meaning a handicap revision, you're promoted to Hogan, you can only go as high as 3rd place tie. So so you kind of really want to ask yourself, a member on this tour, if you're close to these lines of what one parameter handicap is for you. If your player goal is you're going to get better, you're probably best serving yourself to stay in a flight that you're kind of on the lower scale end of it. Because if you do well, you can only go as high as 3rd, and you got to stay there the rest of the year if you get promoted. Again, the reason why Golf Channel or the reason why any other tour has these, you must be 1 stroke higher than the lowest threshold is so that way you don't keep fencing back and forth. And it's just going to hurt you over time. But this tour gives you that option. If you're a player that says, hey, I'm not doing so well, I'm not competitive, I had an injury, or you had some kind of physical ailment that limits what you were capable of doing, which the handicap, better illustrated that ability of you, you can move your flights. You can move like, hey, man, you don't have to be a 14 to get down to Saracen. You can be a 12.1, move to Saracen. But again, if you get promoted, you go back up. So it just all depends. It's what side of the sword do you want to fall on? Okay. So we go back up here to flights. Scoring, same thing. If you want to know what discussion we had about scoring and how that's going to happen, we're going to skip and continue on, but you can revisit episode 2 or even episode 1B where we go over some of that scoring detail. And if you go into those episodes, you can chapter it out, click the link, and I'll get right into it and talk about how scoring is going to occur for these events. More so, this will be communicated when we have the pairing party on the night before the tournament. But more so, I want to save some time to talk to you guys and get this session under 45 minutes. Social distancing, popular term. Everyone knows about social distancing now, what that definition is. So very excited to report to you since the last time we were here, the country club in Muirfield Village had ordered and they received and later installed these touchless ball retrievers. They installed those on the Friday, May 1st. So as you see here, this is how it works. Its purpose is to avoid any kind of contact that a player would have by reaching their hand inside the cup. It takes out the noodle. It takes out the set of arrangement that some players experience where the cup is upside down. So I thought this was pretty neat. Not every course has these things. I don't know how much they cost or where they were purchased, but Country Club Muirfield Village, which will be our first event, does. So it'll be our first event and probably something that we all look forward to every course having. What do you guys think about this? Pretty cool. We'll have some hand sanitizers, personal size bottles of hand sanitizer provided for each player as a tee off. That will be off at the first tee. So, I'll be there the first tee. I'll be making sure that, you have rule sheets, tee assignments are clear and communicated, how scoring is going to work. If you happen to miss the episodes or the pairing party, and also issue out your personal size hand or bottle of hand sanitizer. So pretty neat as we kick off this year. You certainly need to be sent off with order, and I'll be there presently on that first tee. So all you guys here that's joining me in the session, you kind of know this one is free. Best things in life are free, and so is a membership on this tour. I don't know, call it the COVID-19 discount, call it the social distancing, call it whatever you want. The reason why there's no cost to you, I think it's just a model as to what this tour is this year. There's so much uncertainty to kind of upfront a commitment with having an expensive membership. It'd be stupid for somebody. You don't know what's going to happen next week. So why would you actually commit to something that incurs a membership for something that over time you won't be able to enjoy? So it's certainly inviting. I kicked off a promotion on Monday as far as advertisement campaign, and the response and analytics has been through the roof. The engagements, the messaging conversations, the interest, the shares, the reach out into the golf community, if you want to call it. Most of you are contributing to that by liking the page, sharing the page, having comments, talking to your buddies. What comes from that is people coming in contact with me. There's no cost to them. The only thing I need, again, is just stuff to add them to the directory and a verifiable handicap. And then they get to play the courses that we do, that we love to play, and the competition that we desire. So all this overall helps support this tour and what it's going to be this year, which is awesome. Next. So this is the next thing. All right. Now you got past, I guess whatever step one is. Now you're kind of like, okay, what can I win? Well, the choice is yours. I think this is pretty neat as well. The trophies there, these are some of the trophies that were awarded last year, but the choice is yours. And what choice is that? Okay. The model is you get a trophy and a Visa gift card. The prize fund from every entry, there's a portion of that that's divided out to the trophy and Visa gift card. Well, since I can't award you a trophy at the conclusion of the tournament, I can't pre-purchase trophies, and there's no reason why I should. So after we have an announcement of a winner, you get a choice. So I know I got Chavez Moment out here on the line. Chavez, you with me?
Yeah, I'm here with you.
All right, man. So Chavez, you're the kind of guy this year. I think you're in our Sneed flight. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. So if you can see this picture here, this is just a projected prize fund payout. Chavez, I know you're very competitive. You're a very competent sneed player. When I say competent, that means your skill is right at the cusp. You're kind of in it almost at every event we have. If you happen to win your flight, you might be a guy that doesn't really value a trophy. And I'm not saying you are, or not saying you're not, but let's say
Yeah.
it comes down to you win your flight. You either get the choice of saying, "Hey, I would like to have the award of 180 and a trophy," or you're kind of like, "No, I'm all in, man. Just give me the 225." How is that option um, sound to you?
I mean, it sounds good to me because everybody isn't a trophy type of person, isn't that bragging type of person. I won, let me get my money, let me get off the course. But you know how social media is, everybody wants to take the picture with the trophy. So I mean, it's a good option though. And you, like you said, with the uncertainty, you don't know if you can buy trophies now, but you know, and that option of getting it to them 3 4 days later is cool. So I like it. That's a nice option right there.
Yeah, and if for the people who want that trophy moment, I'll have a stock trophy. Let's say um, at the event, I don't know. I'm not going to say what the awards are this year, but let's say there's just a stock trophy, right? And you don't have to hold it, but let's just say it's there for you to take a picture in front of. That's cool.
Yeah,
I could dress it up. You want it, but then again, you still walk away with all Visa gift card. So yeah, it could be a two-way street, but and to kind of appease that trophy holding moment, I'll have something in stock to where I can have it there on display, and you just take a picture with it. All right, man. Well, thanks for jumping in on that. You're oh, bingo. You guys see that? It went to 531. So we got a new like.
I just liked it. Hey, that's me. I just
That's
liked it.
you. That's you, Fez. You just liked it. That's awesome, man. So
Hey,
yeah,
it
this
works.
it worked. So if you recognize the speed of it, it's kind of like a 2 to 3 second delay. So the moment you like it, it's wired into the page.
Yeah, it was only like 2 seconds.
Yeah, I like it, man. This is pretty cool. First time on live session, we get someone to like it. All right, so once again, thanks for jumping in on that. Speaking to that flex option, I think that the intent was behind having that available to our tour members hits that right on the head. I think from previous years on hosting or conducting tournaments, when I really tried to kind of, you know, pull people into the tour, there was a handful of players that was kind of like, I'm not a trophy guy. I'm just, it, if you play for not straight cash, but if you just had an award amount, I'll be for that. Right. Now, so this is cool. So I'm really, I guess, not but I'm driving the tour in a direction where the reach hits, I think, what 3 to 4 interest of playing tournament golf is. One is I'm not a trophy guy. Okay, you can play. Two is I'm not a membership dude. I just want to play a couple courses. Why didn't you pay a membership? Boom, got you. I'm a guy where I'm currently on tour. I don't want to renew a membership because I'm not playing so well. Well, guess what? There's no membership for you, and you can move down a flight. I think that might be 4 and 5. Reason 5. So, and the courses. So overall, man, there's just so much to like. I mean, I'm just goosebumped about getting this going. We're talking about it. We're building up. It's a lot of momentum and a lot of excitement. Once we go on the course, they'll be awesome for us, and I can't wait. So, moving on to the next one. Here's a little touch point here where we have a website in development. No timetable. I wouldn't say no timetable, but again, we do have a goal where hopefully by mid-June next month, we get that launched and set up. I mentioned here the Facebook page is coming soon. That launched on May 1st, so that was kind of a poor copy paste job on my part. But the Facebook page is out there. It's active. It's live. It's renamed. It's relaunched. Got a lot of communicators out there, a lot of engagements. So that's going well. And before I go further, there is someone on our session right now that's responsible for developing this website. So I'm gonna introduce many of you to a member of our tour, Mr. Nick Johnston. Nick, how you doing, man? Let me get you unmuted there. There you go.
Okay. Doing good.
Doing good. So the wizard behind the curtain unveils himself. So me and you have been chit chatting for a solid week or 2 weeks there.
Yeah,
And you've
2 weeks.
been
Yeah.
a big part as to me announcing that a website will be coming soon. I've seen a template of it. There's some working pieces. The launch of the domain, you're very responsible for. So, Nick, once you spend a couple minutes here and speak to what it looks like and how it works for people that I guess are curious about
Okay. Well, the website, in a sense, is going to be very similar to the dashboard, but only uh, easier to be accessed through multiple different platforms, um, as well as being mobile, iPad, tablet, things of that nature. And it's going to look very similar to what the dashboard does. It's going to have pretty much the information there. It's just getting transferred over. So it's not going to be anything too crazy of a change. So in a sense, it's just a good landing page for everybody to go to, see, work with, things of that nature.
Excellent. That's right. And right now, that website, do you feel as though mid-June is kind of an achievable point to where we could see that in work?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That's the timetable we're working with. My goal is to have it done definitely by the end of the month, actually, but maybe start doing some testing on it.
Yep. And thank you for sharing that. And the reason why, again, we got a couple seconds here to continue with this one. The reason why we're looking at mid-June, you and I were talking, we want to get ourselves on the other side of our first event. So that way we can see what worked, what doesn't work, rather than have a pre-launch and then figure out, okay, that was a bad idea, right? So we really want to use the first event as like a benchmark for what things we desire to have, what we need to have, what we didn't think about that we learned that we should start trying. So that's kind of why we say mid-June, which puts us somewhere right before the Zanesville event on June 13th, but if not, sometime before the June 22nd. So that's kind of why uh, mid-June is being communicated, is that we certainly want to get on the other side of May 18th, give us time to QC, implement, kind of work on some of those bugs, and then have it useful for you guys when you see it. All right. All right. So, man, I love this page. I love this page right here. So, many people out there are watching. Many people out there I talked to about this tour. They I started with, why would someone, I'm talking to myself before I put it here, and then the more I start speaking to it, why should I play on this tour? What are the benefits of playing on this tour than something else? All right, starts with no membership. I gave you 5 reasons, something like that earlier. Well, we start with no membership. Another thing, there's no cancellation fee. As long as you withdraw, when I say cancellation fee, that means a player, right now we have 64 of them signed up for our first event. If you withdraw because, hey, my job just notified me that I have to return to work because of the you know, phased in of what we're doing with social distancing and stuff, I've been recalled back to work. I'm no longer on not essential, but I'm now the essential status. Well, if that occurs before May 18th, or sorry, before May 14th, which is the date of registration close, there's no cancellation fee. So the hazard of signing up now with uncertainty, you at least know by May 14th if that is going to change. And again, May 14th, why registration closes? Well, here's the proof. Here's the pudding. The course requires hard numbers. The course requires hard numbers 4 days out from an event. And when they ask for hard numbers and I tell them 64, I'm paying for 64. So if you're like, hey, well, I can't play after that day, they're likely not a refund for you. And that's what it is. So the next reason, if you win your flight, you got the choice. Mr. Moman, he mentioned, I'm not probably a trophy, holding up kind of guy, or he represents those players out there. You get the option. So you win, it's your choice. It's organized structure. I talked to this last episode. If you like the delivery, what we're doing, we're tour talking, the splash page, the website, the options and benefits of a membership. This is how well it looks off the course. It's going to be organized when you're on the course. So there's a lot of a lot of detail to this, and it's going to be a proud thing and the best decision you made as far as your choice of tournament golf. All events are hosted on private courses. I love that. Here's why. because when we play on public doesn't give you the course. There's a lot of nuances that go into having an event on a public course, and I really shy away from it because they are a bottom line driven property. They need play on their course. Private courses, when we have events on private courses, there's a lot more control, the illusion of control that you have on setting up tee time, knowing you're not going to get interfered play, knowing that what you like to have arranged from the front end will be provided. So that's kind of what is very neat benefit of this tour, is that they're all on private courses. So once the arrangements is made as to how the event will be conducted, the format of it, the tee times, we're not at the mercy as to what a public course says. Hey, we're going to cram you guys down. We're going to restrict you. We don't have that many carts, et cetera, et cetera. Number 6, the average award is $42 a player per entry. Now, I've been around. I've been very responsible for a lot of successful tours within the Central Ohio area. Golf Channel being one of them previously, Golf Week before that. I know the tour model. This tour, the way it's being conducted, for the same price, you're playing a private course comparable to the same price, but you're getting average 2 to 3 times more for your buck. So yeah, it might cost $100 for this tour, this event. It might cost $95 somewhere else. Okay, if you're a $5 kind of guy, well, you're getting 2 to 3 times more for your money on this tour. And reason number 8, you're spending about an hour and a half less in this event. So unless you are I want to make $2 an hour kind of guy, you can save money by playing somewhere else if you're worth $2 an hour. But for $5 extra, I'll give you that hour and a half back of your life. Number 9, there's actually an award for a season flight champion. So playing this event, you know what the capital city point standings are for those on the tour. If you don't, there's a segment out there, a little button that's on the database that kind of walks you through the events. Some of the events carry more points than others, which are the local majors. And you kind of see some historical champions and how they receive their points and how are they awarded at season's end. And if you forget and that all that stuff was too much for you, I'm gonna just remind you, just see number 1 and 2. I love it. I mean, last time I did the mic drop, this is the pin drop. I don't know, man. It's just too much here to not to like. So before I kind of open up to you guys here, I'd just like to leave this here for a minute. We will be back here for Tour Talk next week, episode 4, same time, May 13th. And then quickly here, we roll into a couple sessions that almost occur back to back. So we'll have a pairings and rules party, which meaning the same session, the same form, but it will strictly go over the pairing assignments and the rules for our event on May 18th. So again, it'll be sent via email. The database will be updated, but I'll actually be here like we are before we have our shotgun events, when we're all cart ready and people start having questions, how to do this, how to do that. I can verbalize it to you. In this way, we can have like a Q&A around the room kind of discussion. And last but not least, the day after the event, 7 o'clock, once the results are final, we'll have a trophy award ceremony. So we'll be right here. Mr. Moman's in the room. He won his flight. This is where we congratulate him and announce him as a flight champion and kind of get his thoughts to his round, speak to it. How'd you do? Let's look at your scorecard, that kind of thing. Have some fun. Just start with it and see where it goes. All right. So with that, gentlemen, what you guys think? What would you guys want to open the discussion to? It can go anywhere you want.
Sounds good. I'm just happy to be part of it, man. Hopefully I can win something and get my name on the board.
All right. I'm pleased to have you back here, Mr. Moman. I know I'm a big fan of yours for what you do. You're a good follower. In fact, man, we get offline here. I'll show you where I got this from, and it could be something that you do the same for your business. All right.
Yeah, I would love to see something like that, because I was like, wait a minute, he's got a light counter? What the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to do something over here, man.
That's real nice. Shoot. Hey, technology, man, you got to utilize it. Like, hey, if somebody in your position, that analytics is important.
Yes, and to you as well. So, knowing what you do, I'll be certainly interested in having that conversation with you.
Okay, yeah, I've got a training after this until like 11 p.m. So hit me up tomorrow. Let's talk about it tomorrow.
Okay, we'll do. Sounds good.
Yes, appreciate you, sir.
All right. Anything else out there, Mr. Woodford? You're on the line with us. We had a couple episodes, kind of engaged with you in the middle on the weekend. How you like what you're seeing? You there, Mr. Woodford?
Hello, hello, hello.
There he is. All right.
Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you now.
All right, sorry. I'm a Zoom virgin. Apologize.
It's all good.
But no, this is just awesome stuff. I mean, I've always enjoyed going to your events and your organization, and so it's top notch, and I appreciate what you're doing for us.
Excellent. So, Mr. Woodford, you are for those watching and those who want to connect on this. Mr. Woodford was responsible for helping us slide in a replacement event last year at the site of Belmont Hills Country Club early in the season last year. So,
Yeah.
Mr. Woodford, you out that part in Ohio. You also have a reach into the Pittsburgh area tour and the Cleveland tour guys. What do you think the pulse is? What's this feel like if you were to comment and represent what this feels like to you and how you could then communicate to the golfers that you have buddies with?
Yeah, I mean, everybody is so eager. I mean, it's in the state of Ohio, the governor makes a decision about golf courses, but then it's ultimately at the local level whether they open the courses or not, and that's what we're dealing with here locally is that same issue. So everybody's chomping at the bit. We're fortunate that the county that I live in, we are allowed to play, and we're all obviously practicing all the social distancing guidelines, but everybody's ready to play. They want to play competitive golf, and they want to get out there and enjoy themselves. And I think you're allowing us an avenue to do that. And, we all appreciate that.
Excellent.
My issue is going to be I'm a Monday through Friday kind of guy, so getting off on a Monday to play on as much as I want to play is going to be tough. But so I'll be
the lineup we have 8 events, 3 of them share a Monday. So
yeah,
looks like you'll be playing at least in half of them. So. All right. Well, we look forward to having you out in the course. I got T-minus 1 minute, 20 seconds for this session. I want to kind of give some time to others. You guys got anything else you want to add?
Nope, I don't.
All right. Well, listen, so this will conclude this week's version of Tour Talk. The Capital City Amateur Golf Tour is alive and well, bringing to you discussions and topics that the players have, myself, your tour director, for what this season will look like for tournament golf in the Central Ohio, Greater Columbus area. So we're doing well, gentlemen. We've got some great momentum. If you like our tour page on Facebook, subscribe to the YouTube channel. You'll receive these updates. But this is all I have on behalf of the members on the Capital City Amateur Tour. I say so long, farewell. We'll see you next week, Wednesday, May 13th. This is Tour Talk. Jacob Bridges signing off. See you, fellas.
See you.